Alright guys, it's the 2022 archery deer season here in Ohio, and season's opened. I've been hunting for a couple days or a couple weeks, and shot a couple does, had an opportunity at a buck, just didn't happen, and that was the only mature buck that I saw so far. Fast forward to November 1st, it was hot, 62 degrees, 63 degrees, and I did not want to be in the stand because of how hot it was, but it's every archery hunter's dream week. You know, it's the rut, the beginning of the rut, and you know the bucks are going to be chasing does, they're going to be searching. But I just thought, man, with the hot weather, there's no way they're going to be out moving around. I looked up my Spartan Forge app, and they told me on there that the deer prediction movements were good. So I said, whatever, we'll go sit in the stand anyways. So I get off work about 3:45 or 4 o'clock, no, 4:15, sorry. And it's about a 15-minute drive there, and then I got about a half a mile walk back to the stand. So I get back in there, I get set up about 5:15, and I let everything calm down for 20 minutes or so, and then I pull out my extinguisher tube, and I hit the grunt. And about 5 minutes later, a button buck and my target 8-point steps out. I've got 3 targets in the area, a big 10-point, a 9-point, and an 8-point. The 10-point and the 8-point were at the top, and the 9-point was my number 3. The 10-point busted off his whole right side the week before, so I scratched him off of my hit list, and now it's the 8-point and the 9-point. So my target 8 steps out at about 70 yards up the trail, and I hit the grunt again, and he starts making his way down to me, and he hits a scrape and starts thrashing some trees, and he's kind of working his, just kind of playing around up there. And that button buck continues to come on down, and he hits the scrape right here down below me, sniffing around. And I'm watching that 8-point. I'm kind of turned to my stand like this, and I'm watching that 8-point, and he's just milling around up there, and he just would not come down. And that button buck's 12 yards from me, and I was just doing my best to not bust that buck, and I kept hearing something behind me walking around, and I thought for sure it was just a squirrel. I was like, you know what, just stay focused, don't turn around. I did not want to bust that button buck below me, because I knew if he blew, then I'd be done. So I didn't turn to my stand for probably 5 minutes, and I'm watching this 8-point, and he's just milling around up there and would not come down. And I wish you guys could see how big he is. My camera doesn't zoom in that far, so I apologize for that. But I'm standing there, and that button buck is just looking over at whatever's walking around behind me. So after about 5 minutes, I finally turned around and looked, and it's my 9-point, my number 2 hit list. So I've got my number 1 to my left, my number 2 to my right. And so I'm kind of in a pickle. I didn't know which one I should focus on. So I'm kind of sitting there looking between the two, and the 8-point eventually just continues like working away from me. And he got out to about 100 yards and then disappeared. And I'm like, you know what? I'm focusing, turning all my focus to this 9-point, and I was excited. But I focused on him, and I got some footage of him here thrashing a tree. And and he's kind of working his way to me a little bit, and then he stops and starts going away from me. Well, I kind of had to make a choice, okay, either he walks away from me, or I knew if I hit the grunt, because he was acting pretty aggressive, I knew if I hit the grunt he'd come in pretty fast. But I didn't know, with that button buck being down there below me, I didn't know if I hit the grunt it would scare the button buck off, and then that buck would bust as well. So I'm sitting there trying to decide what to do. Finally, I'm like, you know what, just do it and see what happens. So I hit the grunt, and then I hit the doe bleat first, and then I slid it down to the buck grunt, and tried to simulate a buck, and a doe chasing, or a buck chasing a doe. And right when I did it, that buck stops, turns and looks at me, and that button buck's, he's looking at me, he's got me pegged, and that other buck is looking, and he comes running in. So the buck steps up into frame here, and for almost the next 5 minutes we have a Mexican standoff, so to speak. So I put this little clip into hyperlapse for you guys so I wouldn't bore you. But some of you guys may be wondering why I didn't take this shot, and the main reason was because he was quartering to me really hard, and I just figured, you know what, when he turns to leave I'll be able to get a shot, or if he keeps on walking, then I'll be able to get not only a closer shot, but also a broadside or slightly quartering away shot. Meh. Boom. He turned and came running in. Comes running in right here to like 30 yards and stops. I can't get a shot at. Then he comes trotting up here to 20 yards and stops. I still can't get a shot because he's kind of quartering towards me too hard. So I wanted to wait. He comes walking in right here to, well, 18 yards probably. I haven't even ranged it. Yeah, 18 yards on the nut. And I stopped him. Boom, smoked him. He comes running right over here. I can see him right now. He's dead right there, 50 yards. I'm beyond stoked. I honestly thought that tonight was going to be a horrible night because it was so hot. 63 degrees. It's November 1st, 63 degrees, and I thought for sure, there ain't no way I'm going to see a buck tonight. But I was like, you know what, I'm going to put the time in the stand anyways. Here we are. The sun hasn't even set yet, guys. It's 6:11, and I've got a buck down, and I shot him 10 minutes ago. Alright, so here's the arrow. There's my stand. The buck was standing like right around in here, then took off running that way. He died over there. I know where he's at, but I just like doing the recovery anyways. Oh man, that Schwacker broadhead is killer, dude. Let's go find a dead deer. Oh yes. I won't be hunting for a while anyways. Alright. That's the fall colors I like right there. You guys have no idea how stoked I am right now. Thank you, Lord. I'm stoked right now. Beautiful deer. So now I want to talk about the successes, or what I think made this season here in Ohio a success for me. The number one thing for me was I was super, super sensitive with my wind and my scent control. Um, I washed my clothes, well, actually, when I washed my clothes, I actually didn't even use soap. I just threw them in the washer and rinsed them out. When I got them out, I hung them up either up to dry outside, or if it was cold or raining, I would have to tumble dry them. But after they were dry, I would spray them down with scent away, and then I'd bag them up and put them where no other scent could get to them. And then when I put them on, I would put them on and I'd spray scent away on them again. And then when I got out of the vehicle where I was going to walk in, I sprayed myself down again. If it was hot, I made sure I wore minimal layers, and then I would, layer up once I got to the bottom of the tree. But my scent control, I was very, very, what's the word I'm thinking of? Picky. I was very picky with my scent control. And another thing I used was coon pee as my cover scent, and a lot of people think that deer pee is the best thing to use. I've used coon pee for the past 2 years now, and I can count on one hand the amount of times I've been busted. But anyways, so my number one thing was scent control. My second thing was I played the wind with everything. If I had a bad wind, I didn't go, even though I really, really wanted to go sit in that stand and I really thought that I'd get something. I stayed out of there because the wind was bad. I didn't have a saddle then. All I had was my hangers, and I just did not want to go in there and move the set and then hang it back up for another set when I thought the stand was good, when I thought that set was already in a good spot. So I stayed out of there when I shouldn't have been in there, and I really think that helped out a lot. My access points, everywhere I walked in, I made sure that the wind was blowing back down my trail. So if the wind was in my face when I was in the stand, I made sure I walked in from behind me. If the wind was blowing to my left to right, I would come in. I had a spot I could park my truck and then ride a bike over to another spot, ditch the bike, and then I'd walk in. It was a longer route. That was about a little over a mile route, but I played my wind smart every time I hunted in this area. So that was the two things that really helped me, scent control, and I played the wind with everything every time I hunted in there. The other thing was Spartan Forge. If you guys don't have it yet, go check it out. Spartan Forge app is incredible. I owe a big part of my success this year so far in Ohio to Spartan Forge. It is an incredible e-scouting app. I would definitely go check it out and give them guys, they're military guys, ex-military guys, and they really know their stuff, and they know what they're talking about, and they know what they're doing. Levi Morgan's using them. The Seek One guys are using them. It's a really good app. I'd definitely go check it out. But Spartan Forge really helped me out this year. Another person that really helped me out was obviously my wife. It's really hard when you have a wife and kid to get away and hunt as much as you would like, especially when you have to, support them and stuff. So she sacrificed a lot every time I went out into the stand, but I really appreciate her. She understands my passions, and she understands that I love to hunt, so I owe her a lot as well. And then last but definitely not least, obviously, I'm a Christian, so I like to give credit to God whenever I can, and He was the number one factor in me being able to harvest this buck. He understands my passions as well. I like to give him credit where credit is due, and I truly believe that he just wanted to bless me with this buck, so I just want to give him the thanks as well. You guys may say I'm crazy or weird for that, but I honestly don't really care what you think or say. So God gave me the buck, and I just appreciate him for it. So anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this hunt. The footage I know is not the best, and but I hope you guys enjoyed it anyways. My camera arm is super, it's a cheap one. I got the cheapest one I can because I've got a family, so I hope you guys enjoy it anyways though. After I shot the buck when he was running off, my camera arm actually broke on me, or it didn't break, it just came loose from the tree, and that's why the footage is kind of shaky there. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy it, and give me a rating. Leave a comment, let me know how I did, let me know what you guys would like to see in the future, and go follow me on Instagram at McLaren Outdoors. and we'd love to see you guys there. And any kind of input you guys may have for me, just please let me know, because I'm going and learning as I go. So I really appreciate it.